Hello everyone and welcome to my series Logic Pro X Made Easy. First of all, I would like to thank all of you for subscribing to my channel, and I'm really happy to know that a lot of you have shown interest in learning Logic Pro X, and I will try my best to teach you every possible details in Logic Pro X which will improve your working speed and efficiency as well. In this series, I'll be talking about Logic Pro X from three perspectives. The first one being recording engineer, music producer and mixing mastering engineer. I'm sure most of you are wondering why not Cubase, why not Pro Tools or Reaper or Ableton. The answer to that question is that I simply love Logic Pro X for its interface. It's very easy to understand. As soon as I open Logic Pro X, it's a clean slate. All the options are neatly organized, and even if I'm the first time Logic Pro X user, I can know the whole interface in 5 minutes. Speaking about that, let me directly jump into the user interface of Logic Pro X for today's video. So for today's session, I'll be talking about Logic Pro X user interface from 10.4.6 version's point of view, because 10.5 has added a lot of new features, and you might get confused if I directly jump into 10.5. So I want to make sure that you're well versed with 10.4.6 or 10.4.8. Then we can go to 10.5 easily, so that transition becomes really smooth. I'm going to create a new project in Logic Pro X. It directly asks me for this one. So you cannot open Logic Pro X session without having a track in the session. As you can see, there's something called a software instrument, audio, drummer, external MIDI and guitar or bass. For now, I'm going to open a software instrument track. This is how Logic Pro X looks when you open it. This is called control bar. And you can see a lot of buttons. Let me get rid of these for now. This whole window is called your arrangement window or the workspace. This rack here is the track rack. I can create new tracks, and you'll see as you create new tracks, they go on adding here. You can see multiple tracks getting added. I'll come back to that later. These buttons here, this is called library window, where it shows all the Logic Pro X's downloaded sounds like piano and mallet. Mostly these are EXS samples, and if you go to synths, there are some presets which belong to various synthesizers written by Apple. This is called the inspector window here, which is a very smart thing that Logic has done, where you can see the channel strip of the selected track, and the right side is the channel strip of the output of this particular selected track. This is the help button. If you click on this one, if you activate this one and hover your mouse to any option, it shows you what is what. This one is the toolbar here, where you can see all sorts of tools available: join, bounce regions, split locators, etc. I don't use this a lot because most of the options have shortcuts, so I'll come back to that later in the subsequent sessions. This one is called Smart Controls B, which allows you, it shows you some essential options from the particular VSTs or the audio tracks or the plugins. For example, in this track, since you can see that the virtual instrument EXS24 is loaded, you can see envelopes here and the EQ of the track as well. As you can see, as soon as I clicked here, channel EQ popped up, and you can see the graph here, and if I change, you can see EQ changing here. Anyway, that's a smart control. And this button opens up the mixer here. This one is your piano roll or score editor, step editor, basically audio editor. If you have an audio track, it opens up the audio editor file. This is the transport bar, where you have play, pause, rewind, forward, cycle, record buttons. This one gives you project details. I have kept it on custom mode, but you can keep it on any mode you like. We'll go through this in detail in the subsequent sessions. Here, these are the buttons which generally you can use for recording purposes, where this is called replace the already recorded region. This for activating low latency mode. This is a tuner. This one is to solo a particular region. This is to give a count in, so when you're recording, you can just hit record button and it will give you 4 clicks or 8 clicks, depending 1 or 2 bars of clicks before it actually starts recording. This one is to activate and deactivate metronome. This one is the master fader of Logic Pro X. And these buttons here, this one is called the list editor, where you can see a list of items which are there in your project. Let's say in event you have notes, pitch bend. Let's quickly draw a MIDI region here, and I will go to the pitch bend option here, and I will draw some of these lines. I'll put some dots basically, and you can see that all these points are shown here as a list. Similarly, if you have markers in your project, you will see all the markers here. Your tempo, if you have multiple tempo changes in your project, you will see all the tempo changing points here, and subsequently you have your time and key signature change here. This one is the notepad, where you have two sorts of notepads. One is for the entire project. Another tab opens up a notepad for individual tracks, so you can have notes written for each track. Let's say you want to share a session and you want the other person to know which virtual instrument and a preset you have used for each track. Maybe you can just type it in here, and when the other person receives the session, he or she can go through the notepad to see the details of the track. This is where you can instantly start making music, and Logic Pro X has become even smarter by organizing their loops, by tagging them into genres and moods and the types of sound. This is something called as untagged loops, where you can just drag and drop a folder. These are some of the loops that I have, and I can just access from my disk. I don't have to necessarily convert everything to Apple Loops and load it. I can just have untagged loops and use it straight like this. The last button is called browser button, where I have three tabs again. Project is where all the audio files that are there in the project are shown. Right now we don't have any audio files, so it's empty. Basically, I can say that this is like a pool. Media shows all the media that's there on the system, iTunes library, and the Logic folder here from the projects. All the demo projects are also here, and if you want to import movies, you can surf through your media browser to check for different movies if you want to import them. And the last one is called all files, where you can literally access your whole system. You can see that the hard drives are shown. I can go inside anything and try to import audio or video from here. There's a small panel here, and these are your zoom buttons. And this one is to see the entire project. This one is vertical zoom, this horizontal zoom on one click, and this one is to increase or zoom the audio region, the audio wave file. So if you just press hold on this and vary this meter, you'll see that the audio file zooms in and out. It doesn't change the gain, it's just a visual aid. Drag is to drag the files. If I have like multiple, let's say I have two audio files like this and I want to drag or bring them close to each other. If I don't want them to overlap when I bring like this, I want the previous region to cut, then I can keep it on no overlap mode. But if this is on overlap mode, then if I bring it in, it sits on top, but you can see that the previous audio file is also there underneath the new one, and that's shown by this dotted line. And if you want to X-fade, what it does when you automatically move one region on the other, it creates a crossfade. Shuffle is, let's say I want to shuffle these, like I want to bring this here, so you can see that this has come to the right and this has gone to the left, and vice versa. Shuffle left is again the same, similar option, just direction, it defines the direction. This one is snapping, smart snapping. Bar, if I want to move a region from bar to bar, then I can blindly do that. As you can see, it's moving from bar to bar. I am not able to place anywhere in between. Similarly, beat to beat, I can go. If I turn off this button, then it's on slip mode, it can sit anywhere on the timeline. Infinite possibilities to place. And similarly, frames, if you have a movie running and you want to place region, frame by frame, you can do that. And rest of the options I'll go through in the next coming tutorials. This is the toolbox that you have. This is to see the flex option. This is the automation button. Here you can see some of the functions and editing options, which I will go through in the next tutorial. And here in the inspector, you can see two drop-down menus. One is called region and one is called track. So this defines or this shows all the properties of the selected region, and this one shows properties of the selected track. So that's about it. Go through your Logic window, go through this section. If you have updated to 10.5, make sure not to open the live loop button and just focus on the arrangement window. So have Logic Pro X user interface in your mind, so that when you close your eyes, you can see the user interface clearly and you know what option is where. It's very, very important to know these things by heart. Thank you for watching today's video. If you have liked the video, click on the like button, and if you want to say anything or have any doubts, please leave your comments in the comment section below. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please click on the subscribe button and click on the bell icon to receive notifications. Stay safe, stay happy. See you next week.